Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Akash Thing, and today we are going to continue our learning journey on the Python playlist. So in the first video we have already learned what is Python and why should we learn it and the history of Python. And then we also saw like how to install Python and VS Code and do the complete setup. So now here I have my VS Code open and let me try to help you understand how we can interact with Python, right? Python is a programming language. Now we need to write it somewhere so that it can be executed and then we can see the output of it, right? So that's where it's basically important to understand the way in which we can interact with Python. And that's where we see two different options in which we can interact with Python. The first is in the interpreter way, the second is script mode. So, what is the basic difference between both of them? Let's try to understand with the help of a simple example. Okay, let's say I want to learn making a dish and I wanted to learn it from a chef. So let's say I went to kitchen and then asked the chef, okay, I want to make paneer butter masala. How should I go ahead with this? So the chef said that there are two ways in which you can make this. The first way is like he asked me to ask whatever you have any doubt, and he will answer it, and then I will keep asking and he will answer, and then that way we will make the uh, paneer butter masala. Let's say I asked like what should I do first, then he said like take paneer and cut it into pieces. Then next I asked what to do next, then he said like take butter and veggies and put it inside the pan. Then again I asked. So similarly, it can go keep on going, and I will keep on executing the steps, and I can see the results at the same time. What is happening in the pan, or what how my paneer butter masala is getting made, right? But the thing is like I have to ask the chef every time, and then I have to do it. But let's say he has to train like more than hundreds of staffs, then I think this way is not going to be appropriate, right? So at that time he will do what, he will define all the steps together and keep it inside a file, let's say. And anyone or everyone who wants to learn this particular recipe, so he will refer this file recipe and he can execute all these processes at once uh, on his own, right? And he can make the paneer butter masala. So in a similar way we are going to interact with Python also. So let me just erase it. Yeah, so the first is interpreter mode. Interpreter, which we also call as REPL, which means read, eval, print, and then loop over it again. We'll see how what is meant by this. But yeah, right now let's say this is an interpreter and this is the script mode. Now the benefit in interpreter mode is like you can run let's say it on four level. One is execution level, second is on persistence level, third is on feedback level, fourth is on shareable level, fifth is on usability level. So these are the five criteria on which we are going to judge it. Okay, let's see. So on the execution level, if you understand from the example just now I gave, it's like we execute it line by line and we see the result at the same time and change it or modify it accordingly. But in a script, we write everything in single file with a extension py so that it can recognize that this is a Python file, and then we execute this complete file at once. Coming to persistence, so since we executed it line by line in the command prompt, then once the command prompt is like we close it and we open it again, we will lose all the information. So no memory is there. So we can't retrieve what we executed. But here, since everything is in this file, we can keep it and we can share it or we can use it at any time, right? Later also. So this is one of the big benefit here. Coming to the feedback. So since we are executing the code line by line, so the thing is like we can test it if the code is working or not, right? If it's working, well, if not working, then we can check what is the alternative and we can modify it at the same time. But in this, we have to run the complete file and we need to wait until the complete file is executed. Then only we will see whether the file ran successfully or file has failed. If it has failed, then why it has failed, you have to again like uh, do a deep analysis over that. So it will take time. Coming to Cerebral, this is not Cerebral as you already know because everything is line by line executed in the command prompt, which we will see also in the just a few minutes. But this is a file, so again, you can share this file with anyone, with your friends, with your colleagues, or with anyone on social media as well, right? Usability wise, this is very good for beginners who wants to understand how to use Python, who wants to evaluate, who is very new to some of the functions or functionality of the Python and they want to understand how it works. So at that time, it is very useful. So for learning purpose or for someone who is getting quickly started or for someone also who just want to run a particular line of code to quickly see like what is the output he is getting out of that. So at that time also it's very helpful. So you can say like quick test, then new learner, and then you can also say for debugging as well because you can just debug every line of code here one by one and see whether there is a issue or not. And based on that, you can find out the error easily. But here, the benefit or the biggest use case is the full scale application. Any product that we make, that product should run independently of anyone writing the code and executing it one by one, right? It should run on its own. So that's where we write the file and then this file we trigger it via some other method and the complete application keeps on running without any error or without any problem. So now we understood this interpreter and script mode of interaction with Python theoretically. So let's try to go a little in the practical. So let me just open my terminal in the VS Code. So for that, can go to terminal, new, and here you can see my Python has opened. We can check the Python. You can see I have the Python. Now I got the, uh, s- this is the interpreter mode on. Now let's try to print hi. You can see it ran, right? Now let's try to store a variable a equal to 3 and then print a. Fine, it's working. Now let's do one thing. Let's write the same command by creating a file here. Let's say new.py and paste the same command a equal to 3 and then print a. Done. Now let's try to run this file as well. So for that, I need to exit from this interpreter mode and run this file. To run that, we need to use Python and the file name and hit enter. See, I got the output. So this is the scripting way where we defined a file, we kept everything and we ran it. Now, as we mentioned that in interpreter mode, once we close this terminal, let's try to close this terminal. For that, I need to, yeah. So I closed it and let me reopen the terminal and see if it comes back or not. You can see it has started from scratch. Let's try to open Python and a. So let's try to print a. because we created it already. So let's see if it is working. You can see it is not able to recognize. Now I have to run it again one by one. So now it will recognize this. See, now it's working. So hope you got the understanding of the difference between uh, interpreter, which is more of eval, versus the scripting mode. So someone who is very well experienced, they try to go for scripting mode because they are already familiar with most of the coding lines and coding functions. So with Python, so they already know most of the things. So they don't need to analyze and evaluate each of them, right? But sorry, this is REPL. Yeah. So but for someone who is new or who just want to check a new functionality of the Python, so for them, I think this is going to be very useful. What they will do, so what we are doing here is like we are reading it. So a equal to 3 we read and then we evaluated. So once we hit enter, it got evaluated and then we printed it. So we are doing this rep in a loop format. We do it again and again as many times as we want. So yeah, with this I think that is what I wanted to share with you, and hope you are able to understand the different mode of interaction in which we can share or talk to Python and we can make it run. And don't try to get confused with the compiler. Compiler is a different thing. Don't mix it with interpreter and compiler. Compiler is a mechanism which converts our this Python language code into low level code. So that is a different thing. Don't confuse there. I just wanted to tell you that this is the two different mode in which we can interact with Python. And uh, just to share on that only. Now, few people may also have this doubt that we also have this Jupyter notebook. If you might have heard about it or not. So let's try to create it. New test dot ipynb. So this is the extension which we use to write for Jupyter notebook. Once we create this, you can see here we are getting a different mechanism to write the code. We can initialize it and we can just copy and paste the code from here. And then we can again create another line and we can try to paste it here. Now, let me know your thought on this. Is it a interpreter mode or a script mode? Hope you have that clarity to answer it now. So it's a mix of both. It's a hybrid mode because you are able to save the file, right? We are able to save it. And then second is like we are able to execute it in like one by one as well. So we can see like what is happening at the after the execution. So you can see I have executed it and I have executed this as well. So you can see the output here we got. So that's why it's a mix of both, and this is like a much better way to interact with Python whenever you are trying to develop even bigger or very large lines of code as well, because you can paste as many lines of code as you want here and you can save it also. You don't have to worry about like once you close this, it will get exhausted. So that is the thing. So that's where people use a different method of interacting with Python based on their need or based on their you can say like uses or based on their favorite kind of thing that they like. So it's up to you. Again, I just wanted to share my thought on this thing. And yeah, I hope it is clear now. Let me know your feedback. And if you have any question, please mention in the comment box. I will try to answer them. With that, let's close this session. And next video, I will come up with our first Python code. So try to follow me, subscribe, and like my channel. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.